Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking with Kerry, welcome to my kitchen and welcome to my home once again. So today we're going to be making let's say a little bit more of a restaurant-y type meal, aesthetically looking that way, but really just a really nice home-cooked meal, okay? So I'm going to be trying to get as many vegetables as possible into one mash and hiding these vegetables from the kids. Okay, so what we've got here is sweet potato, carrots, celeriac, pumpkin, onions and garlic. These items are the base for an amazing mashed potato, or it's not mashed potato, it's a mixed vegetable mash, okay? And we're going to be pairing that with a steak today. Yummy, yummy beef steak, and I'm going to be making a nice sauce for the adults, of course. But first things first, let's get going with this puree. So right now we've got to get these vegetables onto steam. So for me and you, the reason, Cooking with Kerry came about was easy, simple meals that mum can do while also doing 100 other things that she normally does, or busy professionals as well, coming home and just putting something together that they enjoy, okay? So we're gonna just get these ingredients onto steam. As simple as that, no frills when it comes to roasting vegetables or, having to pan fry these items first. I just chopped everything nice and small so that we can get them all into one pot to steam. Okay, so these items we're going to leave to steam for around, say, 20 minutes. And during that time, they're going to get nice and soft, lots of flavor coming out, even steaming them. A lot of people say, oh, if I steam my vegetables, they're so bland. What you're doing if you're steaming them is you're keeping a lot of the nutrients instead of boiling them, where you may lose a little bit more of the nutrients because they tend to overcook. But with steaming, we can control that a little bit more. Also, we're minimizing the oil that we're using by not roasting them in the oven, and we're cutting back on time as well. So with the steaming, it's just a really simple method. If you do have a steamer in your house, even better. But if you don't, this pot is a simple, let's say alternative, with the steamer inside, and it can be done really nice and easily, okay? So in this pot, we're gonna start searing our steak. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to do that last, because I've just realized I've got here my steaks and they're nice and small, okay? This is only around 100 grams each, these pieces, 110, which I specifically buy them like this so that, they're easily cooked, and also they're just tasty and the right portion for the family, okay? So hubby would have 2 of these, of course. My little boy could actually have 1, and myself, my girl, don't eat beef right now, but I still enjoy cooking it. So what I'm really actually going to focus on right now is getting a nice sauce together for hubby and I, okay? So let's concentrate on that sauce. So today with the sauce, I'm going to be making, I had a little bit of celeriac left. So basically, the reason I want to cook with celeriac today, so I do this mash a lot, and I just usually use sweet potato, carrots, and butternut squash. But today I've decided to use a little bit more celeriac because a few of my clients, as you know, some of you know, I'm a nutrition coach also, and a few of my clients have been reaching out to me and saying, what vegetables can I eat to improve certain, let's say, symptoms, a lot of them being like a little dips in the afternoon, a few things with troubled sleep or fatigue. But celeriac is one of those ingredients where it's just a powerhouse vegetable. It's full of fiber, potassium, magnesium, all the usual suspects, but it's also full of B12, B vitamins. So B vitamins are vital for general health, cell renewal, and also brain improvement, just general sleep patterns, improving your sleep, overall sleep issues. So all of those. So when it comes to anything with B vitamins in it, go for it, essential. So celeriac's one of those. And I don't know if you're familiar with celeriac. It's a root vegetable, looks like a huge turnip, but it's actually, it tastes like celery. And actually it tastes a little bit like celery and turnip together. So what we're going to be doing is actually here, I'll just show you this quickly. So I want to include some chili, and I started chopping it earlier, and then I thought, oh, let me just show you what I'm doing, because a lot of people also say, oh, you know, how can we control the heat levels in our sauce when we're making a sauce? And this is the main way to control that. So these little beauties, these seeds. So depending on how hot you like it, you can include as little or as many of these as you like. But this chili is a medium chili, and so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to taste it as I go along. I might actually save some of those seeds and see how I go. If you cook them down, it's actually much better, because you get more of that wonderful chili coming out in the sauce as it develops. So let's get that heat on, and let me stop the talking so much. You know, when I put this bottle of olive oil here earlier, I was like, I must undo this lid and make sure it's not one of those ones that, it screws off. Well, yes, thank you. So my pan is nice and hot over there, and that's there we go. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And I'm going to just quickly, before that, I'm going to turn that right down. And I'm going to quickly get this onion chopped nice and small, as I like it, as well. Let's get this heat on. So a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in a pan. I just had that pan on for a minute or so, just heated that up slightly. And this is around half a red onion that I've just tried to chop as small as possible. You can see here. Don't cut your hands, guys. Work on your knife skills whenever you can. So I'm just going to start with my onion. Let's get that cooking down nicely. The base to most great sauces, onions and garlic. But today I'm not going to use garlic in the sauce. I'm going to get some lovely mushrooms in there. Just want to brown off these onions a tiny bit. I'm going to get my chili in. I'm going to get my celeriac in now as well, because I want to give that time to get nice and soft too. I mean, you'll see here I have cut it nice and thin, you know, but it still needs time. And I think this should be a really nice sauce in about 15 minutes. No, 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that heat up a little bit. Get these mushrooms cut nice and small. So I'm just chopping them in half and then getting them nice and thin there. I just want them nice and small. And they'll be gorgeous in a sauce. So you'll see that I've already taken off the stalk. And with mushrooms, I'm making this more of a celeriac sauce than, let's say, a mushroom sauce. So I don't want too many, but I do want the wonderful flavor that the mushrooms will release in the sauce as well. And mushrooms are your best friend when it comes to vitamins as well. And also, they are such a good filler. A lot of people don't know this, but mushrooms are so filling. You know, so if you're looking for that vegetable that's always going to kind of satisfy you, great addition to any kind of plate when you're having a selection of vegetables. But I know there are some non-mushroom lovers amongst us. And for those that don't enjoy mushrooms, you can leave that ingredient out of this sauce as well. Absolutely fine. So as that develops a little bit further, the mushrooms will release some water here. I'm going to let everything do its job for a minute and just turn that down. This stage, I am going to add some dried basil. Now I just wanted to use some basil today. I love this flavor, but especially with mushrooms. But thyme, sage also goes very well in this sauce. So it really is preference, you know. Guys, don't be scared to play with ingredients. Only then will you find out what it is that you enjoy, you know. And I think that a lot of us are scared to do that, but it's essential, you know. I'm gonna pop some of my favorite whole white pepper. White pepper has just a little bit more of a punch to black pepper, so you don't actually need that much. A touch of pink salt over those mushrooms, of course, and just to leave that to develop a little bit more, I'm just going to add a few chives in there as well, dried chives. But if you have fresh, use fresh, you know, whatever you have at home. Again, don't worry too much. That little stir, that smell is starting to come through already. Be wonderful. So I just want those ingredients to saute down a little bit more before I start adding some stock, some of my liquid, to really get that going as a sauce. Oops. Okay. Right, steak time. So as I said before, this steak is around, these are just around 100-gram pieces. And again, the only thing I'm going to do to these guys is a tablespoon of olive oil, not even, see, that's all you need. Salt, and of course some pepper. Now again, you know, some people love a lot of seasoning on their steak, and you know, it really does depend what you're pairing it with. You know, people say, oh, I need that flavor in my meat. I need a lot of sauce. I need a lot of spice. It depends on what you have it with. If you're having it with something like this puree, which has a lot of flavor with the vegetables anyway, you know, maybe you want to just try the combination and the sauce, of course, before you throw all those spices and everything over your steak. Maybe, I don't know, some people like their steak covered in spice, so it's really down to preference. Okay, and how do you like it cooked, your steak? So I'm a medium girl. Well, I was. My husband's a medium to rare, and I think actually that's most of our family members. I'm just going to get now a little bit of liquid in there, and that's just a little bit of water, and of course I'm going to add some stock in there. This is just all I had left today, which is about half a teaspoon. And I'm just going to let that develop a little bit more. Smells amazing already. So let's get this pan on now for the steak. So if you get it nice and hot, then pop your steak in, you get a nice sear on that steak. Okay, let's check on these guys. Looking good. And just pop a knife in to see where we're at. Oh, that's looking good. That's a sweet potato. Carrots are still a little bit hard. Butternut squash is done, and the celeriac seems to be well on its way as well. So that's all looking really nice. So now this pan is hot, I'm just going to make sure my oil is now rubbed into my steak really well. Hear that sear. See that wonderful sauce going now. As that sauce is developing just a little bit more, let's turn that down. I'm going to add in my favorite ingredients just to give it a little bit more of a kind of salty flavor. That's the coconut aminos. And just going to let that do its thing for a little bit longer. Of course, coconut aminos are gluten-free, packed with protein, made with coconut sap. Just a really natural ingredient, so you don't need to worry about having too much salt in there either. Okay, we'll just let that develop. And we'll give that a taste in a few minutes. So with your steak, as I mentioned, my husband likes it kind of more on the rare side, so I'm just going to turn that down now. Now we've turned it, and it's literally, for these pieces, just 4 minutes each side, and I think that will be a nice medium rare. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to make sure my sauce is on nice and low now before I start working on this mashed potato, vegetable mash, sorry. Yeah, everything's looking really nice now. So I'm gonna use the food processor today to make the mash, but if you don't have one at home, you can use a hand blender. So you just drain all the water, pop the vegetables back in, and then just start blending away, okay? But I'm gonna go over there and use the processor, as I mentioned. And with all my cooking, I do try and keep it low calorie. And that's just because that's what I enjoy now. I enjoy making low calorie meals. One, it helps out my clients who are heading for that wellness goal. And two, it's just the extra calories. You can add those in with a luscious sauce if you want, you know, some, you know, cream and butter and things like that. You can include that in your sauce. As I mentioned, I am dairy free, so I tend not to put that in my cooking. But today I'm just going to be adding a tiny bit of coconut almond milk to our veggie mash. Some salt, pepper. I think that's it. I might add a tiny bit of vegan butter as well. Let's see how we go. But if the vegetables are nice and creamy and they've got that flavor, there's really no need. So we'll see. Okay. I'm going to transfer these veggies over here. Easiest way to do this, I think, without burning myself and showing you guys at the same time. So that's just my lovely mix there. Okay, let's see how that's, ooh, yummy. It's blending down nicely. I need a little bit more liquid. And of course some seasoning. Now that to me is half a teaspoon and maybe a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. Let's see how we go. Turn that up nice and high. Go, go, mash, 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 mash. Looking good. And I just want to get it a little bit more creamy. As you can see, it's still got a little bit of a grain or piece-like consistency. Just going to give it a little bit more. Please. A little bit more liquid as we go. Alright, let's see how this baby looks and tastes. Well, it looks wonderful. Actually tastes even better. That's yummy. That celeriac puree. Oh, that celeriac adds something really special to that. It's just a wonderful deeper flavor than it would be if it was just the other three ingredients. Really good. I'm just going to add a tiny bit more salt. Okay, and just give it another whirl while I just add now some spring onion to the sauce. So this sauce is just perfect now, I think. Going to add a little bit of spring onion. Okay, so we're going to plate up now. Nice amount of puree. And give my hubby a little bit more than that. Yeah, looking good. Get that steak on there. And then we'll get wonderful broccolini. There we go, they're still nice and tender. They're still nice and firm, sorry, but tender enough to eat. There we go. We've got some of this beautiful sauce. So again, it depends on how you like your presentation, you know. But for me, it's kind of the minimalist plate. That's what I enjoy. And there we have it, everyone. So today we have a wonderful mixed vegetable puree with a little bit of steak, not too much, a mushroom and celeriac and chili sauce with some tender stem broccolini. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you come back into my kitchen next week. And if you enjoy this recipe and you do make it, please tag me on social media at Wellness with Kerry, at Loving Life with Lemons. Okay, have a great week, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye. So, as you know, I'm dairy free, so I'm not going to be eating beef right now. My hubby is doing this taste test for me. Here we go, let's go.
Num, 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 num.
Okay, go, babe. Go, go, go.
Oh no, what a tough job.
Tell us what you think.
All right, so I'm gonna dig into the beef first. Okay, just the end. Very nicely done. The flavor. I cannot get over it. Wait, I know you're just supposed to take one bite, but
Okay, are we medium?
look at that. I think that's
That's pretty good.
medium well. But it tastes like it's medium rare.
Okay, good.
It's so tender.
How's the sauce and the mash? Tell us about the mash.
It's amazing. I love it. You've got that kick that you were talking about. It comes right at the end, but not too spicy, because if it was, you'd see me having hiccups right now. And that's a sight to see in itself.
Amazing.
But yeah, you're going to be here all night if
If you carry on.
I keep on going. Love it. Great job. Mwah.